Morning, everyone. We'll get started in just a minute. Good morning, everyone. Well, we're having our third live broadcast, I Love RV Life live. We've had such a good response so far that we're looking forward to doing it again. If somebody could just say, yes, I hear you. I see folks are checking in. Good morning, Tim. Good morning, Bill. Somebody said, yeah, your mic's on, and we'll keep going. Still looking for that. Good. Perfect. Thanks, Thomas. I appreciate that. Well, it's been a little over a month. I promised to do one of these, try toward the end of the month. And thanks, everyone. We'd promised to do one of these about once a month. We're trying to do them toward the end of the month and just see how that works. And I hope everybody's got their coffee. I've got my Cafe Bustelo that I brewed a fresh cup before we got started. Bear with me. It's my coffee addiction. But anyway, this is our third. We did our first one in our home office. Our second one was in Florida. And now we're in the Smoky Mountains. Fingers crossed that Verizon and our MoFi 4500 is going to keep us with a good broadcast. We'll keep it around 30-ish minutes. I say that every time, and I never do it, but we'll try to do that. So we'll have a lot of fun with that. Seeing lots of folks join us. Jason, Adam, Joe, good morning. Bill, good morning. And Sparky Green over in Murphy. We're not too far away. Nathan and Tessie, good morning. It's good to hear from you. Joan and I, about 2 months ago, had a long conversation. Joan and I are strongly debating full time, and for a little while. And Nathan and Tessie has been doing that for several years now. And they've been long-term followers, and we're thinking about it. Let's face it, we're out 7, 8, 9 months. We might as well go ahead and make the full jump, right? So we'll do that. Okay, lots of folks are starting to join. We are up in the Smoky Mountains. We started our mountain venture sometime about mid-June, getting toward the end, and have been moving around different spots. We did Freedom Fest and at Leisure Acres the week before 4th of July. And John and Peggy Morris, the owners there, asked if I would do their Facebook Live for them for the event. It was a big event. It ran from about 5:30 till about 10:30 that night, and we did lots of video, and it was a blast. So I wish I had a camera behind me so I could show you the setup that I'm using, but I use a Blackmagic ATM Mini for this. I've got wireless microphones, a couple laptops. It takes a few minutes to set it all up for something like this, but it gives a good high production. And I'm going to try to bounce back and forth between the camera and a laptop here. I've got a few things that I want to show you. So it's been fun. Nathan and Tessie said they've been 5 years as of this month. That's awesome, y'all. That's pretty fantastic. Somebody is in Mount Airy, North Carolina. We're a little bit of a drive from there. We're over on the western side of the Carolinas, North Carolina. So we'll go there. Okay. All right. Let's get started with this. I had several topics that I wanted to cover today, and I've got a lot of notes. So I just wanted, there's a lot of things to go over. I'm going to start with why buy a new or used RV, and then I'll kind of get into our experience. We've bought two, I'll call them new RVs, for lack of a better term. Nobody else had owned them, but they had unique circumstances. When we started with our first RV, we bought it Labor Day of 2014. It was a Heartland Gateway. We loved that. We loved that unit. I call it a mid-price. Many of you might be familiar with the Keystone Cougar. There's a lot of similarities between those two. There's several others out there, those mid-range, $55,000 to $65,000, base retail. You can get some deals. And we got a deal on that one. It was why we bought new. We had been looking for several months, as we always do. And this one, somebody had custom ordered it from the factory and never took delivery. So it had sat on the lot for a number of months, a long number of months. And as a result of that, they wanted to get it off the lot and needed to get it off the lot. And we got about a $20,000 discount off of a brand new one. And it was just place, right time. Just one of those types of deal. It was not an advertised type feature, but we started there. And then when we bought the unit that we're in now, we had been looking for months, but we got caught in that COVID inventory. There wasn't any. And we almost signed a deal. I just looked at each other and went, we're just buying it new because it's new, but it doesn't have what we want. And we changed our mind on the deal, never signed the papers. And then we went to the Tampa RV show, and the unit that I'm in now, that we're in now, was the floor model at the show. As a matter of fact, this 3931 FB is what we have. It's a Montana. It's 41 feet, 19,500 pounds. We really wanted some specific features, and you've probably seen the video in that where we did a tour. And we bought the show model, and they cleaned it up for us. And it was the last one they had in inventory. We bought the one that was at the show that everybody had been walking through, but it was clean. It wasn't scuffed up or any of those types of things. So, that's the one we bought. It was a deal. They made us a huge offer. I mean, very, very substantial offer on it from that standpoint. Okay, now let's talk about why you want to buy new and why you want to be used, and then I'll share our experience as we go forward. Let's just talk about new, the 1-year warranty. That may or may not be a big deal. And let me talk about this first year of ownership. Something's going to go wrong, I can promise you, and it might be many things. In both of our purchases that we've had some small and some medium, but nothing catastrophic or what I would call a major problem. And I guess it depends on where you're at when the problem occurs and the type of problem that it is. But that first year warranty can be a very big deal. Let's say you've got one of these little small iPods, that type of a thing. Or just a smaller camper, not a lot to go wrong with it. That 1-year warranty, I don't think will be as important as if you have one of these large big rigs like Jonah and I have, or one of these very large coaches that has a lot of tech in it. That 1-year warranty is going to be very, very critical, because I will assure you something is going to go wrong, and it might be small. We've had both small in this go around, and we've had not so small. I keep looking around. I think we might have a visitor this morning. I'll go ahead and show you. Mink Kitty had to show up. Now let's see if we can keep her out of the video, but she's such a camera hog. On these luxury coaches, especially these luxury coaches, there's tons of things, tons of high tech, hydraulic systems, and all those types of things. That 1-year warranty can be very key. And I'm going to get more into warranties as a second part of my discussion. The second thing, let me ask you this. I'm having to look at the camera and look down here. When I finish my topic, I'm going to give you a chance to ask me some questions, and that way I can look down. So hold your questions right till I say, let's share some questions, because I'm going to miss these. These things are running off. So bear with me just a little bit on this. The second thing about new versus used is, on a newer unit, it's far easier to get a loan. If you've got a much older unit, 8, 9, 10 years, you may have a little trouble getting a loan. Those used ones can be less cost, but if you're looking at something like $50 to $60 to $75,000 and you just don't have that in the bank, as most people don't, it may be a little harder to get one. Unless the unit is like 1 or 2 or 3 years old. Some of your credit unions, we use M&T Bank. If you have not used them, we've used them twice, and they have been incredible for us. It's a credit union, and they're very friendly to the RV industry. And this too, once you get started with them, as you get your next unit, they have just a streamlined process. When we got this unit, we went M&T Bank, and bang, we got that thing in no time. It was pretty awesome. It was an easy loan to get. We didn't have any problems whatsoever. The other thing about getting a new unit is it hasn't been mistreated. I can't say enough about that. I've talked to several folks who have bought used units that were grossly mistreated, scratched, dented, suspension issues from running on bad roads, all those types of things that can happen. The tanks weren't properly maintained, especially the black tank can get, for those of us who've been in the RV lifestyle for a while, if you don't treat your black tank right, it will come back and get you, and those types of things. And the other thing about getting a new unit is, you have the latest features, the latest technology, and sometimes that can be a big benefit. As you've seen in the background here, we've got the new light gray. I don't have it too well lit up, but we've got all that light gray, not that woody stuff that we had in our gateway. And that really got old and tired after a while. And this new layout is really, really nice. The hydraulic systems are very, very nice. The other thing about getting a new unit is no road wear. And any of us who are pulling these campers for any kind of a distance, wow. The roads are really rough and they can really beat them up. And then also there's deals out there. I mentioned with you, we bought both of these units that are under deals, and we got tremendous savings off book. And that was pretty cool as well. So, show models, as I talked about, time of year, you can check, if you've got your eye on something, look at the time of year. They're going to have to move some inventory. And if that inventory's been sitting on the lot, you may have a new 2022 unit. The 23 units are coming out. Nothing wrong, brand new unit, brand new loan, brand new everything. And you can usually get a good deal because they're trying to move those older units off the lot. So that's just a couple things about why you might want to consider new. Another reason you might want to consider buying a used. There's some great deals. Let me see if I can pull this up. Our daughter and her husband bought a used unit, and here, let's see. I'm gonna try to change my video here real quick and see if I can show you this. It can't play, it says. So let's try this again. Bear with me. I don't know. I'll come back to me here real quick. Our daughter and her husband bought I'll call it a lightly used unit. They've got 3 children, 15, 12, soon to be 13, and a 6-year-old. And, they're getting in size, and they were in a 30-foot, and they wanted that bunk model. And they got a bunk model used. It was 2 years old. It was an 18, I think, that they bought in 20. And to say it was lightly used is an understatement. I think these people bought it, used it 2 or 3 times, did not like the RV lifestyle, and they moved out from that. Bear with me. I've got a funny shadow coming in. There we go. I had a funny shadow coming in. It was the outside awning. But anyway, they bought, while I do this, I'm going to see if I can show you this. It's a fantastic unit. It's a 35-foot pull behind with the bunk model and all that. This thing's absolutely beautiful. And I don't know if I can show it to you. We'll just go ahead and keep talking about it. But they bought it. It's got the outside kitchen. And again, with 3 kids, they needed all that type of stuff. They got an incredible deal. Nothing wrong with it. We've done some basic maintenance that you have to do on it as well. And if you can find one lightly used, and I think We might be having some opportunities of some nice, if you want to step up, of some nice units coming in. I've talked to a lot of people who, bought RVs during the, the COVID stuff that we were going through, and they still wanted a vacation, and it just wasn't their thing long term. And I think we're going to have a bunch that's come up. And look, if you can get one of these lightly used models, it's only a couple years old, you can still get a great loan on it, and that's pretty good as well. I am going to look at a couple comments here. Nathan and Tessie, I know that they just upgraded to one that was slightly used. Nathan is retired military and retired Navy. And they use USAA for their loans. So any of you who are ex-military, you don't have to be retired. If you've had any military time, as I've had a couple of years, you can go USAA, and that's good as well. So that's a good point, Nathan and Tessie. Appreciate you sharing that. Here's the other issue. This happened with Julie and Josh when they bought theirs. All the manufacturing defects, yes, there's going to be manufacturing defects. The kindest way I can say is if you're going to buy a unit, you need to expect it. There's going to be manufacturing defects. I'll talk about more of that when we get to warranty, and I'll share with you what we've run into. But usually if one's been on the road for a year, most of those things, all the warranty work has been done, and most of the gotchas have been taken care of. Kind of give you, for instance, when we bought our Gateway back in 2014, we did the short, I call it the break-in cruise that we did. Took it out for 3 days. They didn't caulk around the shower. We flooded the bathroom. It was a disaster. I mean, water went everywhere. On the way back home, the sink in the kitchen fell out. They never put the clips in, and the sink fell out and had to have that done. It was just all those things. It's just like, for the love of Pete. But anyway, those have been taken care of. I will encourage you to do this. If you're not handy, not too sure about, structural things and those types of things, electrical, hire you an inspector to look at these. Make sure that, there's no water leak, especially if it's 3 or 4 years old or older. Make sure that there's no water leaks. Look, a little bit of water, you'll start seeing delamination on the side. Run. Don't do that, or you might have rot, especially in the slide outs and those types of things. And then, if you're buying a motored coach, make sure you get that taken care of. The other good thing about doing a something like a used unit, you might find some helpful mods. And if you buy one of ours, there's going to be helpful mods. You see them, don't you? Like Joan's makeup area we've taken care of. But you might find some other things like second refrigerators or, whatever else you might can find. So that's helpful. And definitely they're going to be less expensive than what you would find in a new one. Okay, let's talk about warranties, and then I want to talk to you about my experience. I'm going to be careful not to make this negative because boy, we've had some challenges. Good gracious, we've had some challenges here recently. If you're buying new, then you need to consider: do you want to buy local or you want to buy long distance? Now, I'm in the campground here where we're at right now. We've got friends that's bought local. We've bought local in the past. We bought long distance this time. We live in Middle Georgia. We bought out of Tampa. And I think if it wouldn't have been for the substantial deal, I'm not sure that I would do that again. I'll just be real upfront with you. Warranty work, depending on the type of warranty work, and let me explain. There's 2 types of warranty work. One is factory warranty. So this is a Keystone, Montana. I can take this to any Keystone warranted location, and they will honor the warranty. And I've already gone through that, and I'll share that. Then there are those things that were installed by the dealer. And guess what? The only place that I can get warranty on that is at the dealer. And if you're a lot of miles away, That's going to be a challenge. And again, I'll share more of that here in just a bit. Um, it, we sometimes you do these long distance because you can find a good deal. It should be substantial. Sometimes you can buy one because of inventory. Nobody else has one of these. This unit that we have has become very, very popular, and they're hard to find. This just because of this big bathroom and that type of stuff has become a big hit. That type of thing. The other thing about warranty, you need to consider extended versus just the first year. And I will share this. Any of us who have gone through buying a new RV, the pressure that the dealer puts on you to buy an extended warranty is unbearable. I mean, it is just like, oh my gosh, the kickback on these things must be massive, must be absolutely massive. And the huge, Mink, you're going to have to leave me alone. You're silly kitty. We bought 1 year of extended warranty, and I must tell you, it was expensive. And I bought the absolute lowest end on it, and I am aggravated at myself for doing it because I just don't think we're going to take advantage of it, and I don't think that much big stuff is going to break. A year from now, we'll see. We'll do another one of these. I'll let you know where we're at if we've used any extended warranty. I don't think we will, but we'll see. Okay. If you've got a big rig, if you've got one of these things with tons of high tech in it, all the fancy computerized lighting systems and things like that, I don't know. You may want to consider that because that's a lot to break. The more you add, look, I was an operational specialist and a telecommunications engineer years and years and years, and I like KISS. Keep it simple, stupid Jerry. And the more you add and the more fancier it is, yeah, it's nice, but boy, when it goes south, it's expensive and it is a pain. So we try to run, I won't say minimalist, but we're really careful with the gadgets. We buy a lot of gadgets, but if I'm installing it and I know about it, I want to make sure I don't buy things that's going to affect our trip. How about that? It might be more for comfort than it is going to be for the trip itself. If you've got engines and drivetrains, those extended warranties sometimes have some additional benefits. You may want to consider that. Let's talk about our first 6 months. Wow. Our first 6 months, I won't say it's been a challenge, but we've had some issues. Let's talk about the pickup. When we went to the dealer to pick up, they assigned a tech to us, which I thought was pretty cool. It would never had that happen before. They assigned a tech for us, spend the night in the unit, and then we'll have the tech come by that morning and we'll fix any issues that you found. And I mean, we tried everything. We turned everything on, and we did find some issues. The first issue, if you'll notice, right, see if I can do it right, get my finger right. If you'll notice right here, we have all these trim moldings. You'll see it on the bottom of the cabinets. And at the factory, they turned the guns up, the nail guns, too high, and blew the nails through every bit of that. And we had molding falling down all over the place. And so they came in and they fixed it. We've had a few more that's come loose up in the bedroom since we've done it. I'm not going to take that back to the dealer for that. Just a small little finishing nail and a couple taps with a hammer, and I'll never have that issue again. So again, it gets back into being handy. And if you're comfortable doing that, and you have to weigh the cost of where you're going and how long you want to be without your RV, it can be a bit of a challenge. Colorado Boo. I'm going to talk about Starlink here toward the end. We're going to get one. The second thing that we ran into when we went to pick it up was our door wouldn't lock. So at the factory, again, they didn't put the plate in the side well, and had to take the locking mechanism back to the shop and make some adjustments and things like that. But we've got all that taken care of. Couldn't even lock the door. It's crazy when you think about that. That wouldn't work. And then they had just a few other little things that I think people had, because this had been the show model, they had borrowed pieces and parts out of it and had to go back to the shop, find them, bring them back. Like the sink faucet sprayer was missing, just a few little things. And we expected that because it was the show model. It wasn't a deal breaker, but we made sure because it was the show model, we went through it as well and did that. So that was pickup. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, what have we done? But we did have some issues. Month 4 was when we started having issues. We had gone to Florida. Everything had been working well. We went there in May. No problems, no issues. Everything had been great. It was just like, yay, we got a new fifth wheel, and we not having any issues. And boy, did I jinx that. We get home. I go to run the slide out, the awnings out, and we have 2 awnings on here, and I wanted to block the sun as we were, getting things out of the refrigerator and things like that, and neither one of my awnings would work. Yep, both failed at the same time. First thing, I've got a blown fuse, no blown fuse. And again, I was an engineer for a while. I run and grab a ladder, unplug, have Joan do it, put the voltometer on it, digital voltmeter on it. We have power. And I thought, no, it's impossible that both motors could have burned out. This is something's really wonky here. Took me 2 days to finally get somebody who would answer the phone and tell me what I needed to do to get the repair. Now, after 2 days, and I'm talking about spending 4 or 5 hours a day on the phone trying to get this done. And after the end of day 2, I must tell you, my aggravation factor, it wasn't pretty. I was still trying to be a nice guy, but I was starting to get pretty dadgum aggravated after 2 days. And finally, I got somebody at Keystone, and I just said, look, what the heck? I'm not going to drive from Middle Georgia to Tampa and spend $450 in diesel fuel to try to get somebody to come out from where we bought it to do this. There's got to be some way we can do it. And they go, look, we'll find a warranty dealer in your area. We'll give you some names. You call them. I called the first one. It was Midstate RV out of Middle Georgia, right on Byron. If you go down 75. And I called them and I said, let me tell you what's going on. I understand you're a Keystone warranty dealer. Yep, we are. Here's my issue. I can't get either one of my awnings out. And then, they go, that's weird. I go, it is. And they said, look, we got a 1-hour opening. Can you be here in 15 minutes? I went flying out the door, took that to them. Try to make this longer story shorter. Took them 4 hours to find out what was going on and 10 minutes to fix it. Brand new power panel. And they're selling these things now with something called a Weibo, or it's a little spring type of connector. Somebody can correct me on what they're called. Weibo, something like that. And it had gone bad. And can you bear with me? Mink is wanting to get into everything. That was an experiment that went bad. We will make sure that she behaves in the future. But it took them, they had to trace every wire, and it took hours and hours. And they were stuck with me. Thank goodness. They were going to give me an hour and gave me 4. And it took them 10 minutes to move this over to another connector. And miraculously, our awnings started working again. And I could, these folks were 15 minutes away, 20 minutes away. So that was helpful to be able to get that done. I've got a light strip. You can't see it up here. I've been trying to get that thing fixed for 6 months now. And I finally just got frustrated. I'm going to fix the darn thing myself. Every time I take it to someone, they just look at it and go, oh my gosh, this is going to require cabinet people to come in, and you're going to have to leave your camper there for months, weeks, who knows. And I just don't think that's true. And I think it's going to be a pretty simple fix. But everybody's scared to death of it. And, it's more aesthetics and aggravation because I know it's out. But that's another thing. It's just an LED light strip that just went bad, and we're going to have to fix it. The one that really got me, though, is one of our slide toppers. I had these installed. This is month 5, and I think you saw my video or my Instagram, and those of you who follow me on Instagram or Facebook saw my little video on this. They didn't install the darn thing properly on the big slide over here where all the kitchen stuff is at in the entertainment center. And after 5 months, I guess it kind of gotten weak, and it flipped behind the big flange and jammed my slide. I couldn't get it in or out. It was a mess. And then it bound and pulled loose. Now, this is not a fault of Keystone. It's not a fault of the Montana itself. It's a fault of the dealer that installed these things. They didn't install the darn thing properly. And here was what the solution was going to be. You're going to love this. It's warranted. Okay, it's in the first year warranty. The soonest that they could see me was August the 12th. All right. I can't go anywhere. I can't even get the slide in or out. August the 12th. They would not warranty a mobile tech to come or none of that. It's just like, well, if you can get it loose, if you have to cut it off, we'll fix it when you get here. So diesel fuel at the current prices in June, it was going to cost me $450 to go there and back. Okay. Keep this going. Then they said, you'll drop it off in the morning. And you have to give us up to 3 days to be able to do the repair. Well, I'm homeless now. What is Joan and 2 kitties supposed to do while they possibly get it fixed within a 3-day period? So $150 or $130 or whatever it is of a motel fee. I'm almost up to $1,000 now. That's the cost of the topper, a brand new topper, and to get somebody to install it. And I just, out of just sheer frustration after several days, sheer frustration, I ended up fixing the darn thing myself. So we're out and about and it's working. But, when it gets into these warranties, it may be good, it may be bad. Now, here's the good news. That's all that we've had to deal with so far. So if you've got any other questions, now would be a great time. I'll start looking at some of these. I see several of you have made some questions. If you got any questions about, and I got one more topic I want to cover real quick before we close down. But if you've got any other questions about the warranty or what we faced with buying a new one, do we love the unit? That's several of, people keep asking me, do you like the new Montana? We absolutely love it. It's fantastic. It's 42 feet. We've got a big dually, Ford F-350 diesel. We've been up, at 5,000 feet in the Western Carolina mountains with 7 and 8% grades. It hasn't been a challenge up here in the mountains. You just can't be wonky. If you saw the video where we were at Deep Creek, I didn't show that road. I wish now I'd have turned the camera around and showed you the road that we were on when we went from Bryson City up to the campground. I don't think you can have a narrower road and 2 vehicles fit on it. Wow. Was it a nail biter? But we took our time and we made it. So we love the Montana. It's fantastic. Our tanks, our black tanks will last us about 2 weeks. If we Navy shower, we can get almost another 2 weeks out of our, gray tanks. And we've got 200 watts of solar that came from the factory. We've got a big 3-door refrigerator. We can drive 6, 7, 8 hours, get to the campground. And if it's been a moderately sunny day, our batteries are topped off. It's awesome. We just absolutely love it. So let's see what we've got here for questions. Colorado Boo said on a new Rockwood DVD, it grabbed his DVD player and wouldn't eject it. And they're going to have to get that thing replaced. Sonny Massey's asking, how do we enjoy, how's our extended fuel tank doing? Oh my gosh. Why did I wait 8 years to do that? Good gracious. 55-gallon tank, low profile, topper fits over it. It gives us, I don't know how many miles of running, 600, 700, 800 miles. I don't know. I'd have to do the calculation when I check with the other tank. We were able to buy fuel in Georgia and went ahead and filled the tanks. We've been up here for 2 weeks now. I'm still running on. I just started draining the big auxiliary tank in, and the fuel prices then when I bought was about 45 cents cheaper than what they were here in North Carolina. So just doing the arbitrage of going between states and saving money is huge. And the no worry that I can do, a 6 or 7 hour run now and not have to go into the fuel stops. I do have an open road card. If you don't have that, get one, especially if you've got a diesel, especially if you've got a big coach that's requiring, $250, $300, $400 fill ups. With me, my fill ups are running they can run into $350 range at this top end. So we just absolutely love it. Wago connectors. Thank you, Nathan and Tessie. I appreciate that. Nathan, I got a feeling you said that. I hate those things. That thing has cost me a tremendous amount of problem. Let me look here and see what else we've got. DJ Tama Drummer. So the problem is getting the rig into the shop in Central Oregon. It took 3 months to get my fifth wheel into the shop, and they sat on it for 2 weeks. Yes, you're absolutely right. I fear we're going to face the same thing. It's just a nightmare. Yet, if you can do warranty work, you don't have to go back to your dealer. If you still have factory warranty, you can usually go, at least that's been the case with me with my Keystone. If I can find somebody that is a Keystone dealer and they've got a slot open, they can take care of me. Let's see, do we have any other questions here from that? Okay. All right, let's talk about how are the trailer springs holding up and the effect on the underbelly. That's George Bryant. Oh my gosh. Here's my recommendation. And Phil Harris is one of our followers. I think he posted something on Facebook. He just installed some Sumo springs. Look, I'm not an affiliate of theirs. Yes, they did give me a set of springs to try out, and that's all I got. So I don't make any other revenues or anything like this by recommending Sumo springs. I will share this. I will never own another RV of any style without putting a set of Sumo springs on it. That's just how amazing these things are. If you saw my video, there was nothing trick in that. I hooked a camera up underneath the fifth wheel, and I put one in here at the dining room and set a glass of water, drove on bridges, uneven concrete, even when I came off the rest area or the off ramp, so that I could, Joan said, if you made a mess, you're going to clean it up. I kind of thought that I was going to have to. I thought there was going to be water everywhere. That glass didn't move. You saw it on the video. It's incredible. It's absolutely amazing. The second thing is when you're on these rough roads, if this is the truck and this is your camper, if that thing is moving up and down so much, it translates that up into your tow vehicle. And we've got a Hensley trailer saver, and that helps a lot. We've got the MoreRide soft pin. I don't have the exact name of it. We've got that on this camper as well, and that helps a lot. But if you're getting in those big bridge up and downs, or if you're getting into this oscillating, where you're on concrete and the slabs just oscillate, bang, 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 like that, it's amazing. And we can tell it by all the stuff, like our dishware and all that stuff is all in place. It's a couple $100 to set up your trailer with these types of things. And I've had people say, look, we got Class C's and we put Sumo springs on them, and it stopped that rocking back and forth. You don't really get that with a trailer. You get that forward, up and down like this. Buy you some Sumo Springs. I'm just sharing with you. That's been the most incredible deal that you can have. Let's see. Any other questions here? Bill Brown said the new Brooklyn bed is fantastic. Yes, they are. We had somebody share that, sent us a message and said, we love ours so much, we just put one in our home. We did too. And if we get rid of the home, I got a Brooklyn bed for sale. It weighs a ton. But it did that. Did the Sumo Springs minimize any sensation of shaking when you're parked and set up in the campground? I don't think we would experience that, Jeffrey. That's Jeffrey Hill that asked us that. This has hydraulics. And with the hydraulics, we've got, 3 points, front, middle, and back. And we don't have much, we don't have any shaking at all with the hydraulic system. When we had our old Gateway, all we had was electric stabilizers in the back and then the electric jacks. And yeah, that thing was bouncy. And the way we dealt with that is we put one of those tripods under the pin in the front. I don't have to do that with this one. This has got that big frame suspension. We have no movement or wiggling or anything in the front of the fifth wheel. On the Gateway, we didn't have that. So we put that tripod, and we used a set of, they're called X chocks. And if you're getting any of that movement, doing those two things, or if you've just got, like my daughter and her husband have a pull behind and they put X chocks in theirs and it stops all that wiggling. Those X chocks are not very expensive. There's a couple different brands. X Chock is a brand. But they work really, really great. Where do we get our RV tires in Middle Georgia? We use Byron Tire. And the reason we use Byron Tire is there's a big Camping World, there's a Campers Inn, and there's Midstate RV. Right when you go through Byron, you look like you're in new RV sales. Oh my gosh, there's just thousands of units that you'll see right where you go, right before Macon and right before Warner Robins. Is where you'll see all these things. And Byron Tire is located at that exit where all the RV dealers are. And they service they do regular stuff as well, but they service, and they just got about every tire known to mankind that you might want. And they're great, and they're reasonably priced, and they'll get you in and out. They've got a place where you can pull your camper and, get those types of things done. Okay. All right. Let's briefly talk about maintenance. And then from that, if there's no more questions, I'll let you go. If you're going to be doing maintenance, I'll talk about use a Hensley hitch. I cannot, again, they're not sponsored. I didn't get anything from them. I just bought it. There's a couple different types that you can use for fifth wheel. They're absolutely fantastic. I use the TS3. They've got several others. They can support the puck systems. They're fantastic. If you got a big pull behind that's got heavy tongue weight, they got a Hensley hitch for that as well. Everybody I talked about that's owned those absolutely love them. And it will take a lot of that up and down oscillation on that tongue or on your pin. It'll get rid of a lot of it. It doesn't matter what you use. Boom. Like I said, we use Sumo Springs. I've talked to people that put airbags on their axles. I've talked to people that put shocks in. You're not going to get rid of it. And those Hensley hitches are expensive, but if you're going to look at protecting your long-term investment, they're absolutely fantastic. If you got a fifth wheel, those MORryde pin hitches are fantastic. They make those. It's got the cushions. It's what we've got in it. That helps a lot as well. I've already talked about Sumo Springs. I'll never own another trailer or fifth wheel without a set of Sumo Springs on it. That'll be my first purchase. I'm just that hip on them. We now have, we didn't do it for a long time. We now have a TPMS system. And just having that insurance to where I can watch the tires as they go down the road is fantastic. Before, I used to use a laser gun. I still use, if we're on a long tow, 6, 7, 8 hours, we'll pull over. I'll still check my hub heat with one of those little $50 laser thermometers. That's a good thing, just to make sure you don't spin a hub off if you got a bearing going bad. Get you a TPMS sight. Now, let me show you something as well. Let's see. I'm gonna flip over to my second. This is iLoveRVlife.com. If you haven't gone there, just give it a try. Check it out. But one of the things, especially if you're starting to get into maintenance, you'll see the latest blogs that are here. what I want to take you to is show you down here at the bottom. I put a search, and you can also go here. This is where we travel. I need to update some of these pins. This doesn't give a good representation. There's a lot more here, and you can sign up for a newsletter over here. But you can go over here and do a search like, how do I, let's look at our, how do we sanitize our water tank? So we can just type in probably a water and just see what's going to pop up here. Do a search, and I'll do this really, really quick. Video on that. That shows, how to do it. You just click on that link right here and it'll take you to it. And I explain how to do it. So you can see, here's something like that. Or, if you are looking for other maintenance issues, if my keywords are working really well, look at roof. Here is a skylight replacement and roof repair. We had to do that on the gateway. The other one cracked really, really bad. I don't think you're going to find any maintenance needs at Goats on the Roof. There you go. Roof inspection, and you should do this every season. And it's a simple little task. Be careful if you do this. That can be a little bit slippery up there, so do take care. These types of things. I encourage you, especially if you're new to RV life, this will be a great place for you to go. These are tried and true. I'm not doing anything weird or wonky that would not violate your warranty. Those types of things. So I just strongly encourage you, if you don't have a site that you're going to find your maintenance. I got years. I mean, we started doing blogs in 2015 and started adding videos in 2017. So there's a lot of things that can help you from there. Okay, let's see. We've got a few more questions coming in. Is the TPMS system expensive? It sounds worth it. Ali Schill was asking that. They're not cheap. It depends on how many sensors you need. I don't put them on my truck tires. I'm not sure. I mean, maybe should I? I don't know. I haven't. I'm more worried about the 4 on the back, but a couple $100. They're not too bad. And I believe it was worth it. It gives you both your tire pressure and your temperature. And I will share this with you. As you go down the road, you're going to see the temps go up and you're going to see the pressure go up. That's what tires are supposed to do. And you can get the ranges. For the type of tire, you can go to the most websites and it'll say not to exceed this temperature, that type of stuff, and that can be helpful. How hot? Cindy Line asks, how hot in temperature is too high for tires? Again, it depends on the tire. Go to the manufacturer of the tire you're at. Usually on the website, it will give that range. Let's see. DJ Tama Drummer said just installed Sumos on his 37 Eagle. Night and day difference, even with the Moride pin box and the Cree 3000. No kidding. I can't even. I keep saying this word substantial, and it is very, very substantial. Okay. People are saying they can't hear me. Have we gone off? I don't know if this is. Have I gone off? Somebody say yes or no, you can or cannot hear me. And then we'll get ready to close this out. Gone? No comments? I hear you. Okay. All right. We'll be real quick here and then we'll start shutting this down. Colorado Boo said, I got a Halo View because of you. Thanks. We love our Halo View. It's awesome. We put one on this one. They had the adapter that we could use. And I got a video coming up in a week or two. I bought a second camera and I put it in the back because we've got the folding slide topper, a backflip, and I can't see my hitch anymore when I go to hook up. And I put one back there to help me with my backup. Oh man, is that incredible. It is incredible. Okay. Any other questions? We've been going for 45 minutes. I know this is long. Anything else you want to ask? We'll do this again in about 4 or 5 weeks. I don't know where we'll be. We got a full travel schedule all the way up into November. We're going to a bunch of places. I can't wait to show you some of the videos. And I got a lot of video to share of where we're at right now up in Western Carolina. We've been having a blast. If you follow me on Facebook or you follow me on Instagram, you'll get to see a little bit of a hint of what's going to be coming up in the future videos. Blue Ridge Parkway, waterfalls, We went to you haven't even seen this one. We went to a F100 truck show last week. Oh, man. Nathan, are you still there? This is some of the most classiest vehicles you've ever seen in your life. I know you're a car guy. It was fantastic. Okay. Anything else? All right, y'all, if you're enjoying this, give me some thumbs up and let me know that these are worthwhile. We'll do more. We'll do more. It takes me a little while to set these up. If I can get mobile internet, it'll be great. I will share this with you. If I can get it pretty quick before our next trip, we're going to have a Starlink video. And we're going to be ordering Starlink. We're excited about that. We're just going to go ahead and jump into the middle of the pond and get one. And we're going to do that. And thanks, Allie. Thanks, Bill. I appreciate that. But we'll do something on Starlink. I know we're seeing a lot of RVers do that right now. Some are saying use it primary. Some are saying that's all I've got. We're spending right now right at a little over $100 on internet. I've got a Verizon chip. I've got 2 AT&T chips. We're probably going to get rid of our most expensive plan when we get Starlink, and that'll save us some money. Go Dogs, Tim. I hope they're going to have a good year this year. And so our cost will go up a little bit, but our reliability should go up substantially. So we'll just see how that goes. All right. Looks like my audio is going in and out. We'll close it here. Thank you so much for attending our third I Love RV Life. We appreciate you being here. And follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram if you want to get some peeks on future videos that are coming up. Sign up for our newsletter. We'll give you some heads up on new lives coming in. We try to really service the RV community. And I say it all the time. You know why I do it. Yeah, that's right. It's because I love RV life. See you again soon.